那个人说做那时候到外头chơi，可能用住那里家的某个 TV，侬那有路过零度问题多，到路上能够背呢，侬那有因路正经做，特别路到 Fresno 那天，但是那边就打到鸟做到，那那 Fresno Center，也到你看到背多多，其中侬那因路正经，侬那有 General Vang 跑侬 Day 呢，别侬那是的有多，那 celebrate，别叫你们做开 event 呢，叫了们做当地那个那晒天，让种到别头比们做头扫，侬那有因路 excited 出来呢，也但是那就莫好路晒，跟过里天还早做晒的有莫，侬那就因路嘅 special day 通做晒的佢咪干咯，有我到也有我係點 General Vang Pause Day，那也別叫你們做當地那天就冇共識到做 new event 就นู่น咯，也那個人說做呢是到單頭。
有種聽他合作一種日子，佢哋能做，那佢又只能話有輩子同你判話報到東做。นู่นนะนู่นติดจั่วลูกก่อนเรียนตัวผ่านองค์เป้ยอดลูกตัวใจเนาะเป้ตัวยังบ้าลูกกงเชงเลยขับพิธีเหอจะเป็นจิตทางไหนพ้นว่าปอเตยหายใจในนู่นอยู่เจียน้ำพอยวันที่ยี่ลูกก่อนเรียนตัวแต่ชีช่องตาเจ้ากูประกาศให้เตียเป้วัดเรานู่นวันเสาร์วันที่กับกตินักจ่าลัวจิมโมโฮหรือลัวตะกงเตาเทียจิตาเรียนตาเป้เตยเพิ่งเตยยืcho nó cho chiều hôm nay rò là chỉ muốn làm một cả làตัวกล่องลีนู่นนี่เฉยๆปอมึงอยากตอนเด้เขาชื่อเส้นกี่คันดาวน่ะUSA TV ช่องแล้วกูตัวไทยว่าปอเพ่งเราอยากปอเธอโดนเนี่ยอีจงห้องเฉยๆปอที่ปอจ่อให้เดี๋ยวจีนู่นมึงอยากตอนเด้จะช่วยช่องเจเยอะๆวันเสาร์วันที่วันเดย์วันที่ยี่แล้วก็วันที่ยี่คนเดินไปประชาเตอร์แล้วก็ตัวสิไปยังบ้านนอลินเดอร์ก็อีจงเนี่ยสิ่งที่เนี่ยจะตัวกล่องโตจากช่องนอนี่เขาจินเขาจ่อชิปป้าจ่อละหรือช่องไปยว่าก็เสด็จน้อจ่อป้าจ่อเที่ยก็นึกกูเขาให้แต่รงชาเที่ยตัวไปจิตทางไหนพ้นว่าปอย่าไปมองเนี่ยมองจีเขาหน้าเป็นยอจ่อเนี่ยตัวเจ้าตุนจีเป็นยอจ่อเนี่ยลูกเมงหมาฟุยชีจากนี้ชิญยันดาเป้หล่อเนี่ยตุนจูตุปลียิ่งย้อนได้ไปชัวร์เรื่องชัวร์ตัวกูยังตัวต้นเจอเลยฝ่ายจะรู้นะชาเตอร์โดยอีจงเนี่ยสิ่งที่เนี่ยจะเราเป้านะย้อนเราส่งเชียร์ที่ Merry Christmas เราชัวร์เรื่องชัวร์ตัว
ย้อนเรานู่นเราอย่างนู่วันที่ชั่วลูกก็เรียนดูพันหนึ่งก็ไปว่าโจทย์เนี่ยเนี่ยจะช่องทีวีก็ตัวไทยขนาดอย่างนู่นเราอย่างอีนู่ไปจงมุ่งเฉยๆนะว่านู่อยู่เนี่ยที่ท่านในพูดว่าปอติเตียมาอย่างนู่อยู่อย่างนู่Friday นะมอแต่ชีโรงเรียนจะหน่อชื่อจะในหัวหลุดจิคงจะไปเที่ยงบ้านตัวว่าตรงนู่นนะไปเที่ยวจิมูว่าที่ท่านในพูดตัวสตาชูแต่ชีไปยังมุขครบท่านในพูดที่วันเดย์ไปมาละว่าขนาดมานู่นนะไปเฉลยตัวนะอย่าไปตัวนู่อยู่เนี่ยท่านในพูดว่าปอว่าอย่าตัวจอบหรือไปเจนในมงไปจอมงเฉลยมื่อนั้นผมว่าปอยตัวจ่อไปตัวเราได้เจอนาว่าตัวชอบอะไรเหตุตัวได้เจอนามาตัวทั่วชงกูอยากตัวเชื่อเจเราจากรู้งานว่าวันเกิดท่านนายปุ่นวันไหนนำยอดจ่อหัวลูกกงหัวกูตัวจ่อจีอยู่เท่าไรมันเท่าไรไปอยากว่าเนี่ยได้มาข้ามันจ่าหัวลูกกงหัวกูตัวจ่ออย่าลีไปวันไหนอยากว่าอยากสอนท่านนายปุ่นตัวเตี้ยนจีว่าจ่อไปตัวเราได้เจอนาไปตัวเราได้เจอนาตัวเปล่าโจยี่ชงก็ท่านในปุ่นจอเปเจต่อก่ออาชงต่อชงนาอย่าลีถ้าท่านในปุ่นจอเปเจเลยตัวชัวชงว่ารู้วันเกิดเนี่ยเป็นยังว่าตัวชัวรู้ใจต่อท่านในปุ่นจอต่อท่านในปุ่นจอเกยงรู้เจนด้านรู้แต่ชินในเป็นย่อเราจอเกยงเราเปจงมุ่งเฉลี่ยย่อทางเราที่สี่ก็ในอีกข้อเขียนตัวเปเจในห้องทางเราเตียเป็นหมดรู้ในว่าเจอหนักคนเยอะเจอเทียกี่กันต้องกันได้ยังมั่วในพุ่งว่าปออย่าตัวจอไปตัวรู้เตเฉยนาอย่าลีกูเท่าไรเอาไปเราลุ้นนาโตกับไปจมูกเฉยๆพวกเทียนเราปอที่ชีกูว่าที่จะเชื่อแต่ท่านในพุ่งมูแล้วเราจะเกยงยกปอผัวไปสวดตัวตัวลุชงอย่าจีจงเดยยมจอมูจงตัวตะก้าเตตะขออย่าจงยมไทยเจ้าตะก้าจะไปจมูกเฉยๆเตมีตู้มีหัวก็ต้องเกยกันต้องกันแล้วเกยคือนักคือเขาเวลาโอกาสแล้วก็เต้าเกิดแล้วเราเดี๋ยวเต้าได้วนหนูขั้นกี่มือตัวข้าเชี่ยเขาในอย่างรู้หอบเพี้ยนแต่ท่านในพุ่งจะเกยงเกี่ยหนึ่งเขาเกมบอกชัวที่จะไปตัวเราได้เฉยนะกูว่าโจช่องทีวีเนี่ยคือเนี่ยจะท่านในพุ่งนะว่าพวกก็จะรู้นะก็ให้โจท่องเที่ยวเต้นะก็รู้ทีวีเนี่ยก็ยอดตัวที่เขาหมู่ยาตอนได้
by the dawn's early But so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Please remain standing. Tasha, please. Thank you. You all may be seated. Okay, I'm sure to line up with your thought. The Rushi High Nor de Yopi, the Numo. What the champion on the thought, to Tanapon, the Duku, Chinning, the Luta, the Tankai. At this time, we're going to have Chinang Vang start with the lighting of the candles. also like to have Mr. Chong Yang Tao and Mr. Chan Sun Hyung come present the medal.
thời kỳ bây giờ đại家水種子呢，呢一個。ท่านพญานุรพรหมกท่านคนบ้าปอนู่นน่ะเปยาก็ให้หนึ่งมงส่วนจันทร์ส่วนเผาเปยาก็จะรับสิ่งเจอรู้ตัวเจน่ะยาดอกรู้ดงเฟรสโนอีจงเนี่ยจงจีจงคือจงตีจงนั่งจงจ้าตัวเหอตัวฝึกก็ว่าจียาจ้าก็รู้คือขีดเป็นหมอเทเป้เฉลิมยาจ้าก็คือเจียนจีผู้ดอกไปชัวร์ลังชัวร์โตนู่นน่ะก็ว่าจีเป็นใจที่ว่าป้าฝึกป้าอยู่คงฝึกมองดอกชัวร์ลังชัวร์โตยาดอกรู้ตัวเจน่ะชื่อเซนดอนเตอร์ก็ป้าฝึกป้าอยู่ตีไทยเป้ให้หนึ่งยาทงยาเตไปเป้เหอะก็ว่าจีตรงนู่นน่ะยังยาก็หมู่จิตตาจิตเตอร์ไอเหอะก็ว่าจีนั่น
vấn đề là cái việc thảo luận thảo sự ý nhau nhau hộ lo là cùng liên tan tan bây giờ nó là bao nhiêu hôn thủ vang bỏ chỉ có tại mong nó bé cộng hộ ô tô trò lọt chùa lao về tận ốc America theo lúc cộng hộ SGU công tácพิเศษในอเมริกาไปตัวไม่รู้ป่าตัวก็อยากก็นู้อยู่ไปตัวเบอร์เด็กตัวก็นู้นเนอะไอ้ก็เขาว่าจีเราอยากไปตัวล้อก็มันย้อนสนตู้เลยเราก็ตีรุ่นใจมัวว่าก็ต้องเราถ่ายเขาเราตรงไปให้มองเนอะจีล้อไหนพอเนอะก็ไปให้มองว่าตื่นก็อยากตื่นก็ว่าเสด็จเสียเสด็จจืดก็เสด็จ要做路线了，你要给叫个走路么？别阿路更好，那打到这个走路，我讲到我这就别是了，个怎么了？老别成多个路，个路没，别还忙要去补个路没，不好路点对了么？别要这个走路个那其他的不，个怎么了？这些，哎个我搞懂了，太搞了，从高8年没有啊，就整到别要天了。trong pe hai cái tim mong cho sở mong nhớ lúc ăn đồ khứ nó cả câu của tông nó trong pe sửa cái đó thả lô xí hồ sơ nó chỉ là này phun nó tổ xe có trở lời là pe yo tổ có nuôi yo có bởi để cho nó pe hai mong bây giờ cho tụ tổ để nó pe lô có rồi pe cho có我讲做讲木种啊，讲六百俾我讲做木 A 或 A 字，打呢個當咗打呢個多種，做我俾人掹咗大家啦，佢全部攞滿到啦，時間嚟盤啦，我做到。
That concludes the brief presentation ceremony. Please be seated.
卢西尔罗菩萨，华
At this time, we would like to recognize some of our distinguished and honored guests. And to help me do that is Mr. Joe Lee.
Good morning. Oh, I'm glad that all of you are able to come in and join us today to celebrate the birthday of the late General Vang. I'm honored to be up here to acknowledge some of our special guests today. And first of all, I'd like to call in the Hakumika to hot the General Quad South of it. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our Assembly Member, Jim Patterson. Will you please stand? And then our Fresno County Board of Supervisors, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors, Sal Quintero. Will you please stand? And then City of Fresno City Council Member Miguel Arias, could you please stand? And then City of Fresno City Council Member Nelson Esparza, could you please stand? And then the City of Clovis, Mayor Pro Tem Vang, please stand. And also to all the Hmong clan leaders that are here today that come support us, I'd like to acknowledge all of you and all our community leaders, police officers, and all of our community. I'd like to acknowledge all of you for coming today and come to support this event. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. You do that better than me, so thank you. Okay, lúc sau nó được bây giờ mua bên lụt giải tỏ bây giờ khổ chứ sinh lụt giải tỏ bây giờ này là gì cứ tin nên trang xuất lời for welcoming remarks bây giờ Captain Song Yang Tho.
AGU buổi chợ bắt đầu AGU buổi chợ là bên này cứ chỉ nên bắt đầu lầu entra lồng bắt đầu là bên nào lồng bắt đầu ventura tinapon tu ang trong lử là bên nào và than cả dây sông để tôi tiếp tục giảng về tinapon cả dây sông nhà cửa anh cho cái lòng bắt thành là tông sông là sự nào thì bây giờ đi nào là tông sôngท่านว่าพอช่วงชักเกอร์ต่อเส้น thao cho trong nhà thì cứ tin nên cho mà thiết chùa cứ thao cho official election cứ tôi cũng phải cho họ cho nên chắc gì mà thiết chùa nó nói giờ inu chỉnh chỉnh để biết chuyện này mong họ dùng sự chấp lời giờ muaประธาน AGU ประธานเราเวทระนี่ยอลูกโกตัวเดือท่านนายพลจะเก่งกือเป็นมงรุ่นเนี่ยว่าจอส่งคำเวียดนามโจจอนจะจบชีท่านนายพลตัวจีนย่อเลย就是ท่านนายพลจะเจียนจีจะเกยงเยอะอยู่เจจอลูกโกหัวน้องคือเจจอเดือไปเจเนี่ยมงตันจอตัวรอดตัวยาวgiờ đi từ tua sông đờ lu có linh đu anh cái gì giờ nuôi dùng được thế này buồn bây giờ để dùng ba trâu năm mò để xí bây giờ nói cho chú giờ tua chỉ tao để cô sa cả bây tua tu xài lù phải là xả bây lò lù nó là giờ mông lì để bây hai lù mông để cả tua hai lù America cọ và bây giờ nói chuyện America po.
Greetings, honored guest. We are grateful that you can find the time to join us today to pay tribute to the late General Vang. Yesterday was actually his birthday, but due to the fact that it is still a working day, many of you would not be able to attend, so we decided to celebrate it for today.
Cho nên thì cái tin cha ta này buồn tôi cho biết chơi của ao sông, cho sông nó. Giờ tôi cho sông đó luôn luônอยู่đó ta này buồn, nhưng giờ cho công học của tôi cho là giờ cho cái ta này buồn cho dùng của cho trồng không tôi cho lúc tết cho mấy cả nó. Cho nên trong tí số đó tôi lo tôi giờ tan đó bé buồn là giờ tròn trà tôi cho ta tí gì. Vì bên dọn rongท่านนายพลเจ้าเกยงเดยจะชิมว่าท่านนายพลตัวตุช่อลาตุเหตุตัวโจได้เชื่อในกันนะเป็นจงมองมีตัวจิตใจได้เชื่อในอีจงขณะเป็นยอนท่านนายพลตัวเจนจีท่านนายพลรองอีอย่างก็เล่นโจ้วอชิตันดีสเนี่ยจะวอชิตันดีสีนายพลว่าปอยอนเดเป็นตัวมองที่อย่างก็เล่นเดก็เป็นยอนรองกันนะอย่าชิมว่านายพลว่าปอยอีอย่างเล่นโจ้วอชิตันดีสีเนี่ยชิมว่ามองโจได้เชื่อในเลยแต่สินะgiờ đi na thọ cà phê trồng cái tin này chả mông cho phát đi xe cho cái gì chia cho cái dùng nó nếu ở lúc tăng chi cho phê trả này mông phê chuyện này mông một giá tận đây cho nên thì cái tin này chả giá thô là mu yếu giờ nuôi yếu chia sẻ của bà chia sẻ thì mua cái này bún cho tu cho bóc cá hồ ở tầm mà đó khăn tỷ tổ khăn xe thả lù một đã chỉ có chờ有些工作做阿鲁工后，原突然呢，把当地呢讲么，人了保证，这样的家庭梦路人，还有本地事情，因是大比较老那么了，就叫弱了，我连老还连带连呢，只要他了，这被路人原要哩毛路得听，莫因为当地呢。cho ở đây vốn nụ cần đâu rồi có một nụ phát tục sẽ được rồi giờ chưa nào là bảo để có một tàu khoan đời rồi giờ được ở lúc công hộ ô tô trò ở này cũng mới dự chế cho lúc tết chờ mấy cả nó nhau vô sự tan đi xì do choท่านnày phụ tu và mua huy chỉ đời là ở khả năng cả tiền giờ sẽ được chịu ở khả năng tiền bây giờ chỉ mua cho cái cho chế tiền pe lu neng tan này phụ cho tôi cho nó có một đã chỉ còn nó giờ họ cũng bảo tiếp kia sửa thì chỗ này thì cứ tin cha pe giờ tạo tao cho nó để thao cả pe xí hử xí thơ tan này bồn cái giờ mong niệm mong gì giờ tụi cho mong pe chỗ này thì cứ tin cha pe hạt thì này phụ mà bỏ giờ mong tụi cho chỉ là pe sai nè này phụ giờ tụi cho mong nửa lúc mong tụ lo tụ vô tụ chỗ tụ chơi nửa lúc cá trong cá hàng
Dia cho cái nó cái hỗ trợ mong thì giờ mong tụ cho giờ tụ cho mong nếu thì cho mong là hiện tại tôi lấy tiền nó giờ li giờ tụ cho mong là我他自己做俾咗呢，就自己都知通知堂堂就係要幾多毛都做嚟俾呢。我要俾都做呢，俾晒到嘛，我只要俾幾刀呢。電視啊都做俾路俾都做都這，只要俾那俾好，這到這哪幾啥啥姑娘呢？俾都只靠俾咗空有都知道啊，冇那邊俾準。你本都做俾多到，不做英雄呢，俾做空都只知道到。Trời đi bây giờ không chờ vào này phun tàu cho bây giờ tua khó nói giờ đi bây giờ tàu hử tụ thơ nên cho mong để cụ bạn tới chia sẻ đểท่านในปุ่นก็choไปตัวต่อรู้ได้เจอเนาะก็รู้หอบเพียอย่างนั้นเลยก็จงมงเขาเก่าก็รู้ก็จงปอปัวโคเคียเข้าจอเนี่ยจะตีรู้เชื่อรู้จุก่อนลงย้อนจงมาเดียไปมงอย่างมงทีเดียไปหัวนู่อยู่ตัวเก่าหัวล้อนู่นเนาะตอนนี้ยอดเสด็จชิกงเตโจอาลูกงโหอุตุจอเนาะโจท่านปุ่นจอตู้หัวมัวกงว่ามึงจอนเลยตอนนี้เนาะเยอะๆจนว่าพอเดย์พอน่าฟูชัวแน่นอนที่ชี้ยอดจะเป็นต้องการซักก็เป็นมงคลรุ่นหนึ่งเป็นอุปกรณ์อย่าเป็นที่ซักว่ากับมัวรุ่นหนึ่งเอกก็ว่ากูจู้กูก็เล่าไปยอดทัศน์กิจเชื่อเอกสารแต่เขาเราอยู่มั่วชุชีเขาลงยิ่งยั่วชับเลยบอกเขาเกี่ยงมายั่วบอกเลยท่านไอ้ปุ่นเจ้าเป็นลายเหตุตัวเตเฉเนาะถูกต้องเลยที่จะปุ่นสำเร็จแน่นอนไม่รู้แน่รงปุ่นยั่วชับเลยที่ชีท้อกับเชื่อใส่คนเป็นยังไงเอกท้อว่าโจว่าเป็นยังไงเจ้าจีเชื่อตัวนู้นเนาะเอกท้อว่าโจกูมันจ่อตัวใส่ตัวสายเป็นเรากับเป็นเจ้า official election 那个那种需要的被喊的着了，让今天我做。
Just gotta paraphrase it. It's been 12 years since the general left us, and ever since then, the two veterans organizations, along with the general's family, has come together every year to celebrate the general's birthday during this time of the year. And it is our wish that one day, just as there's a Martin Luther King Day, we may have a General Vang Pao Day, so that the Hmong people and the people that served under General Vang Pao can continue to be remembered in the way that the services was offered to this country. And General Vang Pao is the George Washington of the Hmong people. Without him, we wouldn't be here. And so we are to revere him for the thing that he has done. We are to revere him for the leadership that he has provided. And hopefully one day we can truly work together to accomplish the goal of having a General Vang Pao Day for all people to celebrate. Thank you very much. As these gentlemen are stepping off stage, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. Thảo cái chút lại ta tổng chế nó để chắc hú đồ bê tụ cái yêu hà đồ tô tổng chế nó từ cái yêu hà tô tổng chế nó ya bê tụ phong yêu rong đồ bê chả mong từ này lúc bê chả mong nữa 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 nào chỉ mình cái này lúc bê chả mong này ya cái tụ phong yêu rong đồ bê tập bê một lần chỉ là bê hú tàu bê sĩ tàu. And this next gentleman is a friend to the Hmong people. He has a heart that wants to see the Hmong people succeed in Fresno County here. And let us put our hands together for the Honorable Sal Quintero, Chairman of the Fresno County Board of Supervisors.
Well, good morning, everyone. Najong. Najong. One more time, louder. Najong. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your kind invitation. My wife, Hope, and I are honored to be invited to General Vang Pao's celebration. we know he's with us today here in spirit. I knew him well enough to tell you, and as you well know, he always enjoyed a good celebration. So that's why he's here, I can tell you that. I can only imagine what he meant to the Hmong people, and I understand why Hmong people honor the general the way they do. Throughout the years of serving at the city of Fresno, I had the opportunity to meet the general. During those meetings, I noticed things about him that I still remember to this day. And the way that I want to share that with you is in remembering his last name, Pao, P-A-O. Remember those 3 letters, please. The P stands for purpose. The general was a man with purpose. Everything he did has a purpose. When he shook your hand, he shakes it with a purpose. The purpose to let you know that he's very happy to meet you. When he spoke, he had a purpose. His words were never just empty words. Every word he spoke was carefully thought out to convey the purpose of his message. Even when he walked, he had a purpose. He didn't walk just to walk, he walked with a purpose to get somewhere that he needed to be. Everything he did with a purpose. That's the letter P. One thing I recall about seeing a lot about him whenever he attended someplace, he always walked this way. Always thinking ahead of what his next event was going to be or who he was going to speak to next. So everything that he did, he had a purpose. That is the letter P. The letter A, accomplished. General Vang Pao was a very accomplished man. By the time he turned 15 years old, he was already serving in the French military during the Japanese invasion. He is the only ethnic Hmong to ever attain the rank of general in the Royal Laos Army. The general commanded the Hmong veterans during the secret war with support from the Central Intelligence Agency. Because of their service, many Hmong and Lao veterans and their families were eventually granted the status of political refugees by the United Nations and were allowed to resettle in the United States, France, Australia, New Zealand, and elsewhere. And we are so blessed that many of you chose to come to the United States and be here today. This afforded the Hmong people the opportunities to make a new life and thrive outside of Laos. So the word A is for accomplishment. The letter O, outstanding. General Vang Pao was an outstanding man. He was outstanding in everything he did. Whether he was leading his soldiers or helping the Hmong people acclimate to their new homes, he was outstanding in the work that he did. He was so outstanding that there has never been another person who can be like General Vang Pao. That is the letter O, P-A-O. No one can match the love for his people. Nobody has been able to step into his shoes and fill out the role that he left when his physical body gave out. So the 3 letters, P-A-O, General Vang Pao. We'll never forget you, General, and always keep you close to our hearts. General, thank you for all you have done for your people and for us as a country. We will carry it forward from here. And today I say to you, Merry Christmas and happy birthday, General Vang Pao. Thank you.
Thằng này phone nhảy tụi tôi này mình chỉnh chính hiện rồi bây giờ mong nếu cứ chi nếu bây giờ mong nhỏ tàu tàu cho nếu cứ bù ta giờ vì lấy chàng cái san lấy phụ thằng này phone lô vì ta thằng này phone nhảy tụi tôi này cứ rong nhảy tụi tôi này cứ cho rong nếu lần trước là nếu mà học pa số dạng cứ nếu ô nếu mà học pa ở trên nếu sang lấy bao tại giờ ô lấy chàng sang lấy tả nếu học pa nhảy tụi tôi này cứ lần trước là ô tàu mà mình mỏ mua phi chỉ ô lần trước là ô tàu có trí hướng sự sở tu trò nếu ấy tu cứ biết cho mong để tôi tu cứ sang lại tàu thằng này phun sư thằng này phun nhưng mà bỏ tôi lên sư sang lại tàu sư thằng đấy chúng mìnhถึง tàu rồi là nếu giờ lấy cho nụ cứ nếu ô nếu tàu sao được ta chỉ hạเขาคือdân tàu chúng tàu trò là chỉ tôi tụi đấy trời nó yêu bang cho mong nhỏ của cô hủ lúc tê lúc chờ nếu chỉ sang tới công khu của cô số lời nhỏ tàu hủ lúc tê lúc chờ et giờ ta nếu lúc chỉ chừng chụp bên nhỏ rồi là nếu chúng tụi plei chừng chụp bên nhỏ giờ vì lên tàu nên sao đây rong sa tôi chụp bên cổng luôn nó cổng chụp bên cổng cái rong sa tụi thằng này phun mà bỏ luôn này thì thằng mình này phun mà bỏ luôn cho bên nhỏ rồi luôn là bên nó cứ ôn chào cho số lời I'm going to invite Mr. Jolie back up to recognize some more of our guests that have joined us.
Thank you. I know we always miss somebody because either they're late or we forgot to put them on the list. So I apologize for that. We have a special guest. I never met him before, but I know that he's a special guest from our town, near us. And he's a very young gentleman from the city of Merced, City Council Member Fu Xiong. Please stand so we know who you are. And welcome to Fresno. And please partner with us in the future more so that we know more about you from Merced. So that's our special guest that I didn't know that was here. So, and then I forgot to acknowledge all our sponsors for today. So I'd like to, first of all, acknowledge Anthem Blue Cross. They're the major sponsor for our event today. They give us some money to put this thing together. So I want to thank you for Anthem Blue Cross. Mikey Vang, can you stand so everybody see who you are? Oh, she left already? Is she gonna come back? Oh, okay, so that's it for our major sponsor. And then we have a lot of individuals that also sponsor this event. And I'm gonna read the name quickly. After I finish reading their name, then we just give them one round of applause. So the first person is Mrs. Colonel Vang Fong, Mrs. Nielong Vang, Mrs. Van Vang, and the Fresno Police Department Hmong officers, which is Officer Mo Yang Vang and his fellow officers, Mrs. Ma Ba Vang, Mrs. Patsy Vang, right? Patsy, yeah. And then Mrs. Xiong Ba Vang, Mrs. Na Lu Vang, Mrs. Tse Yang Vang, Mrs. Gajay Vang. I'm going to speak the first name in Hmong and the last name is English. And then they say Mrs. Na Lu Vang, Mr. and Mrs. I already said that. And then Mrs. Ning Jae Vang, Mrs. Kathy Xiong, Mrs. Chu Ba Moa, Mr. and Mrs. Xiong Va Vang, Mr. and Mrs. Na Shua Tao, Mr. and Mrs. John Va Vang, Doughboy Donut. They donated 200 200 of bread, and then Mr. and Mrs. Chen Hua Lee, Chin's Kitchen. They donated one of the roasted pig. Mr. and Mrs. Kao Lee, Mr. and Mrs. Ying Hyong, Mr. and Mrs. Nia Chu Vang, Mr. and Mrs. Damai Vang, Mr. and Mrs. Wa Fong Vang, King Poultry. They donated 10 chicken. And then Mr. and Mrs. Chakong Vang, Mr. and Mrs. Jianmeng Vang, and Mr. and Mrs. Gajeng Tao. And those are our sponsors for this event. So give them a round of applause for supporting our event. And one last person, he also donated to this event also. So I want to thank you for Mr. and Mrs. Japong Lee. Okay, give them all a round of applause. Thank you very much.
And I would be remiss if we don't thank the Fresno Center for always opening up your home to us, for allowing us to use your facility. We couldn't have this kind of celebration if it wasn't for the Fresno Center and your staff and Director CEO Pao Yang here. Thank you. Okay. Thì nó mong để bây giờ nói cho lu là bây to speaker. Our next speaker is Mrs. Colonel Vang Fong Gauli Vang. I call her on phone. Lucia no thong mo cho no phone ka no ha ka no ta.
Okay, thank you. My English is poor because I never go school. Just learn ABC 1, 2, 3. That's it. I work very hard, so I just learn from my grandchildren and from street. That's it. So maybe you not quite understand, but you just guess whatever word I said. Like before I came to the United States, they say I hope I have paid, I just point. Stop me, I just point, so you guess like that. So thank you for near or far and coming today. It's a very special day for General Paul's Day. So thank you so much that you come and join us. And thank you for the all donate everything they just told already. So I don't want to repeat again. So you know who you are. So thank you. And thank you for the SGU and law veteran. You have to continue for today. It's the 12 years from the day in this year. So thank you for you both and SGU and law veteran. And the first thing, today is a very special day for celebration for General Paul's birthday. I know he is the very good vision and very good, very smart Hmong's leader. Like him, you see, the right hand side hold the sword very tight and very powerful, very strong. And he held the idea since 1975, we lost the country. He knows what we're going to do, and for the refugees, for the Hmongs. And he hold the key on the right hand side, very tight, like that. And it's a very good idea to plan and to open, to hold the key, but the door is very hard to open. He tried everywhere, anything he can to push the door very hard to open for the refugee to come here. So up to me, 1 cent better than 0, 0, double 0, triple 0 under the ground. So I want to use my 1% in the United States. I bring my children came here, so that's why my husband passed away in 2001 for the COVID-19. but I still try to be strong. I caught the 3-time COVID-19, but I still alive. I still keep my 1% to do whatever I can, because my hope, I don't want to waste my life. I don't want to waste my time. I want to continue for my mom, my grandchildren, great-grandchildren, for January Bang's vision, dream, continue, ever and ever, never forget it. So, thank you. Like, since we came here, like just talk about a couple minutes ago, 48 years ago. So, what we have the most here. Maybe I'm too slow, but be patient a little bit. First thing, since I came to Fresno, because of my son, Officer Moyen, they moved from Visalia, from Fresno. They tried to, and all my 3 sons working in here, got a job from here. So I tried to come here. Like City Council Blockchon, 2 terms, I will be there. I support. And right now I see a lot of leaders. Blockchon is the state executive director, USDA. We got one better than nothing, right? Okay. And Judge Pagualo is the Fresno County. Yeah. Got 1, 2, 3, better than 0. Okay? And one City Council of Police. Yeah, we got one over there too. And the Brandon Vang is the council. Brandon Vang is the board member, Senior Unified School District. Yes, one in the singer. And the next her, District Superintendent, Fresno Unified School District. Yeah, we got one over there too. Yeah. Okay, the last one is Paul Yang. Is the president CEO in the Fresno sector. Yeah, Paul Yang. Yes, you help a lot. So a lot. A lot. Still many. I cannot count. I cannot point. Many monks, doctor, lawyer, engineer, master, or police officer, or business owner, or nurses. Everywhere when I go, I see the monk. I'm so proud of that because they have a good leader. And the dream is come true. So you are happy? Up to me, I'm happy. I'm so proud of my life in the United States. So the other thing, Jim, I'm so proud of you, and you come and support us. And also, same thing, always come and join us. And Tyler Mass, same thing. Okay? And Vang Nutua, always, and chief police officer. I always, when you be there, I be there too. And I always behind you. If you need it, whatever I can do, I will help. Since I came to the United States, I promise I will be a good citizen. So I will be a good citizen. So today is the good leader. We will never ever forget it. for the good leader like General Ang Pao, because if we don't have the good leader, so maybe we don't have dream, we don't have today. So thank you for him. So we never ever forget him forever. So thank you a lot when you come and join us. So thank you. Thank you. 妹妹，ก็จะอีตัว special เป็นเนี่ยนะมาว่าโชคเขาก็จึงตัวกบตัวเขาหน้าที่ก็เจอลิจาแล้วก็ยังเป็นจีตัวเนี่ยก็ยังเป็นอีตัวเนี่ยบ้างน้องยอดตัวเขาขนาดเป็นยังจีมวนน้องหายเดียวจีนยอดก็ยอดเจอแต่เป็นรูเซียก็ยังอีเขาเชอชอเซียตัวเป็นจะมีตู้มีหยวนแล้วยังเป็นจีนนั่นแล้วยังเป็นจะกงหงแล้วยังเป็นอีเขาเชอหายเดียวก็เจอยอดตัวขนาดก็มัวๆนุ่งยุ่งเลยล่ะทอกับก็จงว่ากินนอกกันยอดจง healthy lucky and good life and long life and thank you นะ
Unser Fond. Mình chụp bao thì tại chimo the Fond nó để ra nó bị chimo để không cứ nó lên nó để nó khai ra mình chụp lại bao rồi the Fond vậy tụ ý lên nà cứ nó đã bị mua lên nó rồi tận ta ô nó phải chỉ sự cụ làm một bu đó nó tận đi trả để biết sao lại tàu ga tàu rau mỏ được nó. Auntie here is a phenomenal woman. In her speech, she talks about, you know, if she doesn't have 100%, even if she has just 1%, she's going to hold on to that 1%. And she's going to create something out of that 1%. And that 1% isn't just going to go to waste. She is the ultimate glass half full person. Just full of optimism and just full of energy. And I just haven't seen energy like that in a long, long time. And she's very responsible for a lot of the things that we see here today, a lot of the good food that we'll be partaking in. It is because of the hard work that she did and she put into it. So thank you, Auntie. Zino mono te pe yo anong yo lu lun da pe to event sponsor and my team ni chinyora no te pe tha ja dao lu halu. And at this time we're going to hear remarks from our event sponsor. And my chi is not here. She had to leave, so she left. But we'll pretend that Dao is a version of my chi.
Good afternoon. Nhớ trong sân gió nó tận hậu thấy cái này chặt gì phút thá hà đi xin. Lần nào cũng mà cũng mới mua đào đó chỉ từ event sponsor hôm nay sẽ để của anthem để anthem Blue Cross. Nếu lúc bây giờ mai kia mong sinh ra cái nếu bây giờ tụ sẽ chế độ anthem Blue Cross đó chỉ nếu họ luyện chỉ cái nếu mua lại cái nếu có bán nhận nó cái nếu cho hai đứa nhớ rằng lúc bây giờ mai kia tụ community relation representative đâu anthem Blue Cross nếu nó anthem cũng rong share giờ tụ sponsor đâu nếu nó họ event anthem cũng thằng cả theo thợ bây chế phong phổ lùng thế nào nhưng mà chỉ anh đang bắt đầu thảo sao với đây cô tôi đang làm my chi thà and then I'm going to be that in English. Hello, my name is Mai Chi and I am the community relation representative for Anthem Blue Cross. Today, Anthem is proud to be the sponsor for today's event. Anthem is committed to serving the Hmong community in the Central Valley. With that said, if there's anything that Anthem can do for the community, please reach out to Mai Chi. Thank you.
Thank you, Dao. My stomach thanks you for keeping it short and sweet. Next, we're going to hear special remarks from Mr. Chin Nang Vang, representing the General Vang Pao family.
Nhờ rộng thế thọ cho nên cho chị cho cười cho tì cho nên cho trả nè truy sinh nó mua bên dịch này phần vào bóng nó yêu cái sự được tòa độc kỳ chờ là alo cộng hậu là veteran of America thế SGU một lần nhà bên dịch này phần vào bóng alo cộng hậu đoàn tờ một ít trọng cho nó cho qua cho hai cho elected official generation để cho cái là bờ cộng hậu lâu bờ rừng lâu số lần số tụ đoàn tờ nhà bên dịch này phần chính năng kia nếu mua nếu mình nhớ trong đó 當總理聽嚟當總理，上到嗰度佢， chỉ nên sẽ được bao giờ bây giờ lần tư lại chọn cho lúc nó thì là bây chơi năng chỉ thằng này quan nhân nhờ bây để bây chỉ tan thôi thì chỉ lo là bây chỗ mua lúa cho cho lên cho tủ rồi giờ ba nhà ba chia ba đà ba rò ba chia ba chú ba rò ba mò ba tự ra để chú ý thiên đạo cha hàng đạo lọ mua bây chơi năngหัวแต่ตู้กีหรือสิ่งที่คนว่าพอเราแต่ว่าเจ้าเราชวนเรื่องชวนตัวนั่นยอดทองเตะเฉยหรือเราหูตัวเราหูเราหูปอที่สังวิสคอนซินสังมินนิโซตาที่เป็นลูกสังแคลิฟอร์เนียเรายังย่อเหอเจ้าไปสิ่งที่คนว่าพอนำมอเราเจ้านู่นนอกูยังว่าเจ้าเราไปให้หนึ่งมองต้านทอให้เตียไปว่าอีให้หรือให้หนึ่งไปยิงเอาชุดตัวมันอีตัวเธอเจ้าหรือให้เรายังมัวเราอีตัวเธอเจ้าเราฝึกไปมองlàไปยิงมวยอีตุเธอจอไปฝึกมวยจงตัวมองหล่อมองจืดนะกูเชื่อแต่ไปมวยติดตัวแต่สิถูกไปมวยโลหินโรตเตียตัวหน่อตัวจืดมองตัวว่ามวยนุ่งดีมวยความผู้ป้าตัวรอตัวไปเด็ดสิ่งนั้นเกี่ยวกับเราจิมโบเทจุมว่าเป็นสิ่งที่คนรับบอกสิ่งนั้นเดี๋ยวคนใดเขาเจงดวงดาวอีจงเดี๋ยวสิ่งก็เต้นจะนู้นกูคือตัวกูจะอ้อเขาของจังตัวจะของnóไปยังมัวเจจะเขาจิตท่านเป็นคนเราปอสุ่มเดียแต่ชีนู้นหนึ่งตัวอยากลงเตะนอมู CIA แล้วรัฐบาลมีการมาจอดใจตัวไปตัวหนึ่งสิ่งที่ต้องจ่ายให้รู้เดือดเตะของสิ่งนั้นจ้างเดินnóอย่าจ้างเดิน CIA หรอกลาโป้เป็นจิตในคนว่าปอนี่เชียอีตัวมองยาเจตเต้ใจเชยแล้วตู้นเราว่าเขาหรือซื้อนี่ยังว่าเขาหรือละกันยาขาดก็เขาเสียอีกนะจ้า citation นั่นแหละจ้าเดินนะยัง distinguished intelligence medal ก่อนเบย์ยาวิลเลียมโคบีตัว director ทศสมัยแค่เดียวชินเดินรู้เรียกเรายังรู้มีได้ต่อเนาะดอกจ้าเดินนะกูคือว่าจิตในพลว่าปอตัวต้นจะย่อตัวเนาะก่อนอีจงอย่างสิคือตัวนึงจะตัวเราตัวรัวปอว่าปอเธอให้เปลี่ยนนี่ว่าจีว่าเป็นพวกตัวเธอย่อเชื่ออีตัวนึงว่าเราดีนี่ยิ่งว่าเขาปอมันจีมันเชื่อใจเชื่อเราตอนนี่ว่าจีเนี่ยให้รอตื่นที่รอตอนตัวมัวเป็นสิ่งแต่ขณะเดี๋ยวรู้กูให้โดนแต่เป็นสิ่งมั่งเก็บกูให้ตื่นเราไปจ่อตัวตัวก็ไปให้หนึ่งห้องปอไทยดัวหมูสาทงเดียดเตะจะนักข้อห้องตัวใส่จากข้อหมูโตสอสหมูโตทั่วเรื่องทั่วตัวปอกเดี๋ยวเขาจริงอย่าขนอนนั่นไอ้รัวจะรัวเขาหรือตัวชอบเดี๋ยวสิไปเชียร์ท่าชอบตัวโตได้จะมีการนอนได้ยาดาเราตัวการได้ก็คือ Pacific Ocean ตัวจอรู้ได้กี่นอนไปรู้นั่นคือว่าเม่งรู้นอนไปเจอ elected official ต้นไทยมงmua trong lần trong tủ cần đâu cần cho cần gì tủ mua chú mua chi sành từ đó mua tan đó luôn nó từ ba chỉ để cho nông thì thằng này phần vào bỏ thì tây này tây chỉ tây bỏ tây nhiều cộng xếp cộng từ đó lớn thòng đó luôn bây giờ cho nông là bây giờ cho tu chẳng kỹ luôn nó cho giao lưu tây nọ tây chưa là chưa hai cộng tây bây giờ đông nông để xử lúc họ phía rừng mua chia ta đó nó là cái đó nó chỉ có phí sự nó sẽ được nên và hết giờ sẽ được sẽ lo nếuวันจีนึงมูชาหรือว่าเป็นตุนจุดตุปลียังพอฝึกไปอยู่ฝงมงจบไปให้หนึ่งมงบล็อกไปเท่าไรจวนสอนจานสวนเผาเนอะลีเท่านี้ย่อนี่ยังรู้ว่าเรื่องส่วนตัวนี่ยังจิตใจเรื่องตื่นเนื้อมูหรือรอนี่ยังรู้เฉยอีอย่างก็ชื่อเส้นของnóไปเฉยจะตัวรู้ตัวเจแล้วก่อนในวันจีซาปอให้เดี๋ยวเรื่องตื่นไอ้พอฝึกไปอยู่นั่นจริงนะฝงเจ๊คงโตใช่ไหมด้านของไปยังอยู่จะเริ่มเป็นพิเศษอะไรว่าจงนั้นเรานะรอรู้สุดท้ายกูสากับไปจับผู้ทุกจออย่า SGU หกการสิทธิ์ในพลนะเราเวทอะไรอย่างก็ในเชิงเชิงเป็นบัวตีโดนเน่ขอในยังอย่าไปจับเพื่อไอ้มงนี่จะทอจอหกเกโดนเป้ตุ้มบัวเป้จอมีตุ้มมีหยดละกันนะนี่จะด้านนอกจากเวทในเชิง distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I promise to keep it as short as possible, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. Today is a day of reflection, but it's also a day of celebration, and to celebrate a gentleman whom the Hmong people have always regarded as a patriarch or a father figure to the Hmong. And you may hear repetitively the term George Washington, because that's who he truly was to the Hmong. At a very young age, at a very young start, at 13 years old, that's when he gave birth to his vision, how to help not just his family out of poverty, but how to help his Hmong people who were situated in the mountains and hillsides of the Southeast Asian country of the Kingdom of Laos. So at a very young age, he joined the French Volunteer Corps. He became a very young messenger because he was very quick. At the time, he used to hunt as a little boy, so he knew the hills and the mountains really well. So the French used him as a messenger to fight the imperialist Japanese invaders. And that built the reputation for him as a very young man to move up the ranks of the Royal Lao Army after Laos was given independence by France, and so was Vietnam and Cambodia. And as with his wisdom and wits and knowledge and experience, his quickness, he became the first Vang, as we've heard, to rise up the ranks to become the rank of general in a Lao dominant society. And so that paved the way for his leadership to open up many new doors and opportunities for his people. And if we think about it, if we reflect about the portrait that stands overlooking us in this hall, the Hmong went from an agrarian race of nomadic hill tribe farmers to flying T-28s, helicopters, and drying jeeps around in less than a decade. That's how swift and quick the transformation came under his leadership. And what we have here today that I brought with me, this is a citation or a recognition from the Central Intelligence Agency with the Distinguished Intelligence Medal that was awarded to my father, who worked directly with the CIA. It was signed by Director William Kobe, director at that time, just as an acknowledgement. But of course, because of classifications, we couldn't really display this until he had passed. But this is testament to who he was. The gentleman, the leader, and the father that he was to many people. And as we hear many speeches today, like near Colonel Vang, and many before me and after, I think it's best to describe it as there's a past, present, and future. And as we reflect on the past today, we thank everything for what he has done for us. But today, let us take what he has given us with his knowledge and wisdom and the tools that we have in our hands and build upon towards our future. And so to our elected officials here today, to all the clan leaders who represent the 18 clans of the Hmong ethnicity, from near and far, across our great country, the United States of America, let us remember the values and the principles that our forefathers fought. And primarily, it comes down to one thing: freedom. Freedom and freedom. And the Hmong have always been a proud people, and they've always wanted to be free. But throughout our history, from ancient times, we've been persecuted and frowned upon because we were too free-spirited, free-minded. But here we are in our new home, our country now. And the youth have grown up to serve in many capacities. It was not just elected office. They serve in the United States military. They serve in law enforcement, customs and borders, even in the US federal government. And many that I can't name everything today. But it is the product of a great leader and a great vision. That we were not defeated, we were victorious, even though our ancestral homeland is under a different political system now. But this is our victory, that he and our elders brought us here to our new country, to our new home, which we serve today. And so let us remember and reflect on that as we move forward in our daily business tomorrow and the next, and we go about our lives. That freedom is what intertwines us all together. It is our duty to protect it and to defend her, our great republic. And General Vang has always lectured to us to be hardworking citizens, like to give back and share back and contribute back to our communities across our great land. And so I call upon all of us to let us reforge our commitment, our friendship, the bond that we have, whether it's between person to person in our community, our neighbors, our friends, a random stranger on the street, or with our elected officials and those of law and order who keep our streets safe. Let us recommit to that friendship, to those values, to those principles on this day. And so I thank you all. I thank you all very much so on behalf of my family who are standing up here. There are many of us, but we're scattered across our country too. But these are the immediate that live here in Fresno, and so they are present. I thank my two elders in the family for being here, and our mother, Neme, for also being in attendance today. And lastly, Dan Ho, one nation of John Nona, to sing go the phone. Đây là tuần thầy bé cho cô ấy bé cho và cứ tao lúc gì là cả đó, tôi có cháu này sẽ có thể cho cái So God bless you all. God bless our veterans. God bless our American people, and may God continue to bless our United States of America.
Thank you, Janine, for the wonderful words of encouragement that we heard. Ôi chào được cái Janine, các tàu hai cho lưu ý trong cái phút được biết xuất lại tao nông ha. Ôi các cháu đó biết gì thanh này còn phòng công phòng mong cho có luôn nên chỗ mô và mình chỉ một đồ nhà tổng đề sự. Gì nó mong nó để bây giờ nông biết cho khó chịu sinh lưu hà lưu. Thế thôi tụi cái bây giờ chơi lưu hà lưu nó để ấy tụi có gì rong đi à biết tụi former mayor nhớ tụi Fresno nó thảo cái bây giờ mong chỉ lưu nhớ Fresno. Next, we have our next speaker is a great friend to the Hmong community as well. He was the mayor when the first wave of Hmong people were coming into Fresno. And then he went out to serve at the state legislature, continuing to advocate for the valley, for Fresno. So let's put our hands together for Assembly Member Jim Patterson.
Thank you. Appreciate the invitation to be here and to celebrate General Vang Pao. I'm sure you all have your own stories of the general. I have one. And when I was running for mayor for my first term, this would have been in 1992, the general invited me to an event in which he endorsed my election, and a group of Hmongs were generous and raised some money for my campaign. And this was the first wave. And that $50 in that fundraiser, and that was a lot. But look at where you are today. The general took me aside, and he said, Jim, if you're elected mayor, will you promise me something? I said, what is that? Would you hire the first Hmong police officer in Fresno? Our young men need role models. They need to know that it's possible here and that we are welcomed. and respected? I said yes. And I was elected. And we hired the very first Hmong police officer. And that began really a tradition in our police department of looking and finding and hiring additional Hmong police officers who have served with remarkable distinction. And so I'm one of those, like many of you, that when the general said do something, you did it. But it was a joy to do it. One other thing that happened at that event, you know, when you're in public life as long, 8 years as mayor, 11 years in the legislature, you collect a lot of photographs that you put on the wall and they're meaningful to you, right? Well, I have one at home. At that event, the general asked my wife Sharon to dance with him. She did. I got a picture. And since that time, I want you to know that I feel a real kinship for your people. Because I remember the first years of you coming here, there were challenges. And yet the undercurrent of all of that was we're going to rise above those challenges. Because we are here. We are free. And we are becoming Americans. And so here today, you are part of the great tapestry of people from across the globe who have said, I yearn for freedom. I want to be an American. And you came here and you settled here. You are a reminder for all of us what it means to be an American. You remind us that from misery and from war and from bloodshed and from persecution, you have come to a place where we respect, we care, we honor you, and we want you to have all of the blessings of liberty that everybody else has in the United States of America. One of the joys I have is to present what are called a resolution of posthumous honor for General Vang Pao. And I can't help but notice up here on these signs, Father and Hero. And in the legislature, we can produce a resolution of honor, remembering who he was, what he did, why it was important. Now, there are a lot of whereases, therefore now that let it be resolved. But number one, it recognizes the fact he's a legendary military hero. And that he came up and through that Laotian army. He became a general because he earned it. He did it well. And he was recognized for that achievement. And then he obviously became the father of the Hmong. One of the things that fathers do is take care of their kiddos. And he did that. His strength and his direction and his commitment to you. Out of the horror and the chaos, he brought you here. And you settled. And you have flourished. Also, the unification of these 18 clans. If there was ever a time that we could learn what it means to be unified together, it's today, isn't it? There are forces that pull here and there, and we see chaos in the streets. We see international struggles. And so oftentimes those things separate us. Can we be reminded that this is one nation? It is under God. And we pledge liberty and justice for all. Because just like you are a family, we are all part of the bigger family of Americans. And so, if the General's son would, I'd like to present this. Respected military leader uniting the clans, his efforts in the secret war. Another one of the reasons that I appreciate being here and remembering the General was because so many of these veterans in Laos decided that they were going to save down U.S. pilots, that they were going to help them get back to freedom and to family. And they risked themselves for somebody else. And you haven't really gotten the credit or the recognition you deserve. So I'm going to continue to be a voice in Sacramento for you. And I'm hoping, I really am hoping that we can get past the secret nature of it and recognize what these veterans did. And I sure hope that our folks in Washington, D.C. stop fiddling around with silly stuff, start doing their job, and let's make sure that those veterans, when they pass, can be placed in sacred ground in the United States of America, and do that in the cemetery at Arlington. You deserve it. I hope that gets done. And so on behalf of the California Assembly, and also on behalf of Jim, who promised the General I'd do what he said, and my wife Sharon, who said, you know, he's a pretty good dancer. So this is honoring his memory. Part of honoring his memory is to ask ourselves, then how should we live? How should we live? Think about his leadership. Think about his love for all of you. Think about the persuasiveness and the hard work and the focus that he had, and the fact he never gave up. I think if we all live like that, we will honor his legacy and memory, and we will help others to rise, to achieve, to succeed, be blessings to others. And so on behalf of a grateful legislature, and frankly, Jim and Sharon Patterson, we want to present this to you.
Họ chư sinh là cái official cái tua hay của bê sẽ được đó gì, ở lúc công họ lúc cung ba tàu ít chấm plan, giờ cho đồ lại này. Jim, on behalf of the two veterans group who are hosting here today and the 18 clans of your Hmong Americans, we present this award to you for all your dedication, commitment to the Hmong American community, and that you continue to serve in that capacity, and let's continue the friendship.
Để chuyện chỗ biết tụi con gì lu hà nó để cha biết sụt lời ở sang để to để biết tụi con cái lu hà lu tận thế nó để cha biết tụi tu mong tụi yên tao mong tụi nó chứ để này cái thọ lúc sáng để thọ biết cho city of Clovis Mayor Pro Tem Vang mong tụi to luôn.
Cháu nào vẫn xí giờ sản xuất mấy lúc này luôn mà anh hoa cũng được cũng nè nó kì cái trang chế ok cái sản xuất mấy cháuวันnào vẫn xí lúc này tôi chẳng nhớ chỉ mua ít phẩu này mua mong bảo lên mình nhớ họ chơi chỉ mua phải pha chỉ mua clay nhớ chỉ mua ai yên chỉ mua chế lệ mình tản nên nó gây sầu trống luôn anh nó mới cho tôi một iPhone ta bây giờ ô chẳng chế mong nó ít cho ta anh要cái cả ít ý cho tao giờ kiếm mua nhà ý cho tao mi cả lúc bé tao chỉ chung mong nó nữa giờ sang ta giờ bên xin này phun chỉ muốn nữ bé chỉ tao tên nó chú mẹ là cho có mong cho lên chúa chú bé cho mình nhuận đó nó nhuận đó một cháu lên đầu tuaแต่กูเนยtu cho phải tuaกูเนยtu mong chi nó chứ mi cảกูเนยtu lu àแต่ชีต่อซีนะพุ่นยอดชิกาหาเลยแล้วย่อซีนะพุ่นยังดูสายเชียมองสายเชียมีกาสายยังเป๊กเก่งบอกจะนู่หอมีกาชิตัวแต่ตูในพุ่นต่อชิโยตูน้อยใจเป๊กโยตุ่มบลอเอาไปอย่างพุทธเธอเป๊กโยตูเส่งเนาะตูเส่งต่อ no ว่าใส่ซีในพุ่นยังยังดูปุ่งโจเปล่ะเป๊ะเซลมัวอีตูหน้าตูสีลูกฮะยงเลยหนูเป๊ะจะจ่อนี่หนูเราจะจ่อเป๊ะปังเปิดจ่อเป๊ะลูเจลูจอแต่ชิชิมัวอีตูจ่ออีหายหนึ่งเลยสีไหนปุ่นตัวเล่งเสลจ่ออีหายหนึ่งกูหาเอาไปลูโจกับจะมีการเนาะจะนอนชั่วโมงเนาะกับพวกเป้าจืด Many times you hear of the general you hear only of his military accomplishments. But many have forgotten what he really gave to the Hmong people. He gave us education. Back then, only rich families could afford to go to the Laotian schools. But when he rose to prominence, he created schools, and he rose and taught our people to be teachers. Chỉ là bây giờ tụi muốn chụp cái cờ đó bé chiềm bò đó bò mua sải nền là để chỉ là bây giờ chúa cú hai chúa cú chó nè thì cú要trang cho chế cần đó nó cú要trang cho thân khu cú要trang cho nai khu lu kha cú thái nền có bất sợ ý nhỉ He gave us careers. We were all going to be farmers. But he made us doctors, policemen, colonels, generals, teachers, superintendents, all in Laos, before we even came here. He gave us health. He gave us hospitals. We never had that before. Where if you were cut, but she knew more to get a genje, lu pu to pay high name. If pay more like can pay no like can la yon. New pound to pay. He gave us women's rights. And someone said, why? He has 5 wives. I said, because he has 5 wives. He's the only one who allowed women to lead. And never said don't. He allowed women to stand and to study and to go to school and to be nurses. When you looked at our culture, it was never that way. The women stayed in the back, but he said no. If my wife leads, she will. Tuổi thơ đó bé là sự tuổi giang đó bé cái ta cho bé tu nà chế được bé chỉ chẳng sai ni nó mê dòng mê cả chơi cả chơi it was because of General Vang so nó cái khó họ tại new more women's rights được bé như vậy he was one who was open to all religions. Hmong had people who went to church already. Hmong had people who were still shaman. Hmong had people who believed in different things. And he never looked at that and said, no, I only want shamans. I only want those who are Protestants or Christians. I only want this group. He said, if you want to lead, you come forward. Nếu chỉ chạy bê lên nữa, cú chỉ bê trên nền, cho mong mất chơi lên đó. Tại vì nông vô cú chỉ luôn nhớ để người sáng lại. Họ ấy tụ nền cứ chỉ sai tụ kiến trình. Muôn ghê lê hạt ta xí chạy, tại vì mua tại dòng chúa có nhà là gì, có lưu mong chỉ có lưu. Chỉ tăng lên xí này phun như ý tù, He gave us economic stability. We never had cash in our pockets like until General Vang Pao led us in Laos. He gave us money to be able to buy clothing, to start businesses, to be able to live in a city environment which we never had before. This was all General Vang Pao. To the world, he is the father to the Hmong. But to the Hmong, he is the world. And sometimes we forget that. But I wanted you to remember that. And then one final thing to our American friends. With how the politics in the world is today, some of you will say, the American dream is dead. The American ideal is no longer alive and thriving. And I beg to differ. I said, look at the Hmong experiment. Look at the Hmong experiment from Laos. Compare us to those who went to France, meaning the American Hmong, to those who went to France, Canada, Brazil, French Guiana, wherever you want to compare. You know who is the most prosperous and the best Hmong in the world? American Hmong people, and I thank General Vang Pao for choosing America. We are the richest. We have an all-around gold medalist. We have a motorcycle races. We have people here who are millionaires. When there's issues in the world regarding Hmong, it is American Hmong people who reach in their pockets and can give. I have never heard of the 2 million Chinese Hmong who are more than us ever give anything to any cause of Hmong people. But the couple 100,000 in America has been able to build schools in Thailand, Laos, China. They have been able to help each other here. All because of this nation and because of the vision of General Vang Pao choosing to come here. You talk a big job. They lawyer you now. Let you lawyer you see. Có biết bao xa mùa, tao biết thua nè, thua chí. Nó tao biết what they yang, cứ what nè ha chỉ bông chế bông mùa. Biết cho của tao, tôi có tên chí tì lù, tí chí yo rong xa ta cú tu. Cú châu xa có tết lên nụ. Cú tuần chai, có cho tao rong là, tôi trong mâu vàng mình. Ê tao biết xí lù lù nô nè kìa. Đó có biết cho, chờ đến lúc về nặng chí thực ta. Cũng ban đầu yang ha thì sử dụng lấy số chả cũng chỉ là sáng su. Ê ha tao lên núa là sư. Lulu cờ. Lulu cho mà sử lulu cờ sáng cho bên. Ê lê bị ta cứ chỉ nên ha là how do we create a tradition bên YouTube chính là phun. Ý cho nó cái tuy chỉ sáng su là. But how can we create it so that it becomes second nature, like how we brush our teeth, no lama. Bên chỉ sáng su là bên sao bên chuẩn na là sư. Tại sao lại cả bên sẽ làm bang tao cả bên hai nền mong chùa hiong chú lu xí hở có all lim du văn thi gì. Thì bên tại nhớ tao một phử chính là phun nữa. Traditions are important. They pass along our heritage and our history. Food is important during traditions. Bé sáng chú non dùa, nhưng sáng chú tàu lúc sợ nó bé chồng. Cái nhưng là khó tradition rong. Bé anh dùa nó, nhưng là chủ chỉ khó tradition rồi bé. Lúc xí hở, bé chỉ tao khó tradition rồi là bé sẽ lên YouTube cho cứ录one day. Há bé sẽ lên khá tao bé cho mình nhua, chú cho cứ tin chạy bé là nhà lên chính là phun. Há tao từ này giờ ít khó cứ bên bang tao kia tradition là nơi cái bé nhân tao quan trọng là chỉ gia sát quan trọng ta giờ chú sĩ hở là bảo lấy chú bé chồng cứ bên ban ta bên ban trồng cho rồi bênจะมีหยวกแต่ตัวจีnày phun nuôiอยู่เลยbênยังbanเลยจ้าคือจะการลุกเหินเลยchỉ tàngเลยอย่าไปอ้วนเลยหรอไปเชลเลยจากการกงชาว่าอีหายหนึ่งแต่ชิมอเลยตื่นก็ยังร้อนแค่เกล็ดตัวเลยที่นั่นพุ่นเลยท้องกันตัวยังเป่าหนึ่งนุ่มไปใช้อินเทอร์เน็ตดาวหูนือตุ่นจียังชื่อดาวตัวเลยไปจะน้อยอีเลยอีตัวเลยล่ะอย่าไปอย่าต้องใช้ขนมแต่ชีเท่ายับบ้างเลยโน่นนะมัวใจยิงจัวคืออย่าสั่งลุดชัวกับเป็นมงชิชิหูแต่เป้ต้องเต้หอกับเป้จากการชิหูแต่เป้อย่าลุฝึกเนี่ยที่ว่าเจ้าแต่เป้จะวันนักวันสีหรือตัวบทจะหรือตัวประธานบีไม่จริงบ้างนู่นหนูตัวเราเป้เหอะที่ในผู้ฟังปอท้อก็เป้เจนในมงยังอยู่บนจงนู่นหนูจะช่วยเชียวมงตัวอย่างไปช่วยก็เชียวหนูชุดเลยกันนอกกันยังจงวัดล้านชีเราก็ยังทำการจีฮะที่ในคุณลูกกงลูกเบย์เดี๋ยวจ่อกือฮะใช้บนจงเป้ชนเลยสุดตัวโอจงดัง
ขนาดนั้นขอเป้ให้หนึ่งมงเชอยังเชออีกตัวหนึ่งรงเลยเป้ตัวสิริทองสมวงมรตัวก็กูเจอเลยตุ้มก็นั่นเลยสิไปให้ขนาดเด็กวัยเป็นตาเป้ยังจะน้องเต้เดือดเต้สีแล้วจอดมัวเป้ต้องนอนยังเลยเป้สุดเตะก็ยังอีตัวลิเชเลยยิ่งสายอย่างกลัวก็ที่รู้เชื่อรอเชื่อนะก็จะย่อโจลูกก็ให้โดนตัวตลอดเป้เชื่อการเชื่อก้านก็ in yourself ยิ่งยังอีตัว motivate inspire เป้ได้แต่ขนาดยังอีตัวจะให้ปอดเทิงปอดเพ่งไปมันจีนก่อนนะเอาลูกกงหกแต่ต้านเราจะตุ้ดรอพอเลย sacrifice ให้พอเลยฟอกหมดจะก็ไปจะตุ้จะกี่จันใส่ยาต้องเตะเชื่อรอพอแต่ปาจริงๆก็จะรู้เราหมดจ่อลูกก็ก็ยาต้องเตะไปเชียวกูก็ city councilman ซึ่งก็หมู่เชียชาคันดาจริงๆทั้งในพอเช่าไปให้ในห้องเตะเนี่ยเป็นสิ่งที่ปอดเตะเยอะไปหล่อจะจ่อยใหญ่ตัวตื้อมันเป็นสิ่งตัวตื้อกาวเนี่ยเป็นสิ่งที่นั้นเป็นเจ้ากี่พงกี่ยืดว่าคือวันที่วันที่หายไปชื่อเจ้าเหมือนเป็นชื่อแต่ชื่อเกินนะแค่อีคอนสินะตัวเต้นนั้นที่อ้อเนาะนี่ชิมัวเบย์พอไหลกันเราให้รู้ตัวชิเบย์เฉยๆพอเรื่องยิ่งพอหนึ่งลงต้านทออีอย่างที่วงมันตัวกตีเนาะวิจงเชื่อผู้หนึ่งว่าตีเท่าเขาก็ยิ่งชิปเอาดีวงเบย์เฉยๆเขียวคือว่าตีว่าทุ่งว่ายืดเขียวป้าเบย์จงให้หนึ่งห้องตัวตอนเต้กูทอดเจอเชื่อเจ้เขาลูกกองเขาว่าย่อมองเห็นตีตัวจืดแต่รู้เจน่ะอย่างแต่ชิ้นนี้ตัวประธานแต่รู้เจน่ะ Fresno Center ประธานปอเราอยากทำยังวงเบย์你不知道多浪耐，你不知道多浪没浪呢，就是啊，血工浪啦，把血工呢，แต่กูเพิ่งวันนี้ว่าที่เราบอกสิเจนี่สิบอกเลยนะ就是ก็ที่เราก็ยังอยากอีตัวสิรักเกินก็ดูรู้เชื่อรอเชื่อราเชื่อรองก็อยากอีตัว advocate เราไปให้หนึ่งห้องเดียวว่ารู้ชัวร์เราไปห้องเราขอเล่าขอยอขอน้องเราไปเจ้าไปชิพงอยู่พอปีไปเจอชิเจ้าเหมือนอย่างผมได้ขอน้องแต่เอาลูกกงเขาจะประทานทุกการเราจะรู้ทุกตอนหนึ่งจิตในคนบอกที่ชีวิตผู้เจ้าเราเชื่อนะเจ้าเราก็ให้หัวจบแล้วจริง
我哋俾望我哋鼓掌下，我一路做到佢Andy 來日寫下佢到望 USA TV 佢咪都幫俾我哋落開家呀，全部咩我哋對啲路過哋，連路哋偷一單咧，所以全部咩冇開家，你俾曬你偷開家曬，連路俾曬冇，但我俾人我打咯。其實陣時我望我哋路上都有路上佢俾我路award ceremony。 ขอว่าเซอร์โมนีเนาะแต่เป้สาธอใจตัวกัปตันทรงยังทอดูตัวเลย
cho nên thì cái tin này cha mà cái chùa cho thầy cho và mua mình mỏ biết tuần nu nói giờ nu chuyển chân và bây giờ giờ tiền gì nữaแต่ละบุคคลวันนึงมาเชี่ยวโลหะเลยที่ก็คือตัวเป็นเจนมุ่งgiờ biết chuyện giờ cho mà xiêu qua thì tụi qua vào chỗ là trong đó là như chỉ sợ thì khi biết giờ cho nên suy rằng đó cho chỉ tao qua cho tao suy rằng gì cô giờ đi nó được khắc phục là mua ít cho đỡ trong xe nó rồi là sau đó còn được qua chỗ cha này tôi xóa tu niệm chế cho sponsor và lỡ ba thua giả rồi cái lu event hôm nọ bây giờ mua hôm nọ thì bắt đầu cũng hay mua cùng họ ô tô trợ mua President Center bây lu cùng họ nó là và bây tụi chị có bây giờ lâu câu tiền hậu trang cái thiết chế mà thiết tổ bên nó giờ đi cũng thọ khua cái nó trên đời bây tụi nó là ba lần nhà cư chỉ lên ư giờ ở tụ rồi giờ là lúc bây là kéo sư tiền sĩ ư của họ lựa chọn đời với ở lúc cùng họ này giờ ở lúc là chia cho họ lựa chọn tàn thôi còn này giờ họ chuyển trên cho sponsor của đại lý ở bắt ta từ là đời của chủ cha cháu này mua đời ý chỉ có thằng trong khoản đời có mỗi lòng lụt là kia chứ bây giờ tổng đã chỉ thêm thì chứ không có lo nữa nó cũng mấy trận đời nó cũng thoát gì nữaท่านนายพลก็ยังท้อท่านนายพลวันเดcho nên cho bùa phènท่านนายพลsẽ đi show nữ sinh đó thì giờ ít họ bùa phèn hay gì nông cái nữ tụ bê show to cả lô sinh dưới cái chỉ ở lô lô xía là nè thì chỉ cho đó là mà giờ cho vàท่านนายพลshow rồi nó sẽ đi kia nếu thầy tề show cho tới rồi một tấm mày thầu u tây xia cần tới tập ăn ở trường tử chỉ tao cho anh tới rồi nó họ cho tao cỡ uốn tên rồi từ tao cho tới rồiท่านผู้show nó nếu show nếu xin kia thì cũng mới đại cái tiền mua thì này phụ đại đua là chọn nó của bà thơ chia hai tiền giờ con đời chơi giờ đi nó dùng mỗi đại tới nó cho mua truy tụ là để nó cú yếm mất từวันtới rồi cả bây giờ là bao thì lùm rồi hay đi chả để cho lùm mông yếm mất là quả ra chi thế này pun đại tới nó giờ mua là cho thầu lũ y liền đủ phần tiêu cầu cho chủ y nếu show tại tỷ số thì mà nụ hàoอยู่ในโลกจะต้องประกอบหลายอย่างนี้ทานคนโบราณกล่าวว่าคนดีชนะคนให้น้ำใสชนะน้ำคนเก้าอุกเก้าเยือนต้องได้ต้นคำความสามัคคีอยู่ใสผลสำเร็จอยู่บนนั้นถ้าเราหาปฏิบัติสิ่งเหล่านี้ได้จะต้องสำเร็จแน่นอนcho nó cho lũ bỏ thơ vàท่านในผู้ชมหรือใส่เตโชสาวหรือลูกตัวนี้ลูกเตชเราช่วยcho nó chú chuyển chínhหัวใจเช่นนึงcho lũ choในพลจ้องตูตัวนั้นท่านในพลเราทำติกุเจ็บปอดได้แล้วท่านในผู้ชมกูมั่วจอดดีแล้วจะให้เดียนในพลเชื่ออีตัวดีเนื้อเกินในห้องที่สามที่ชื่อให้cho lũ chuyển chính nóชักเลยอย่าขอน้อยอย่าเป็นเรื่องตื่นโตchoไหนน้อยcho tới nó mỗi khởi chia ô phổ phân ở đây nay phôn lúc họ phía cho cái lúc hiện nay ổn định nhau trò nó tụ cái hồ lon rồi nó cụ ta hồ than buổi chờ giờ bắt than AGU ở con này bể của con này phôn xin đời xin AGU giờ điท่านในปุ่นชี้ย้อนเลยจะชี้ท่านบ่เจอก็ตัวของกัน AGU ก็ละใส่กันเนาะเจ้าหมูพวกเป็นก่อนรู้ของกัน AGU ก็ย้อนตัวที่ขอตัวเด็กสิจ้าเด็กตัวเด็กสิจ้าตัวต่างเด็กชื่อใกล้ต่างก็ชื่อเขาได้เนาะได้ที่อ้อมงดจอโหประธานรอเวนเจรันท่านเจ้าใจอย่าชี้ย้อนเลยผู้ลงละลักประธานนำร่งประธานใจชี้ย้อนเลยนั่นละลัก để thì bên là cú mua cho là trong để bên cho nhiều chuyện chỉ lý cú sử dụngตัวcho lúc đấy chờ mình cả nó gì đồng ý giờ hai tiệc cú mua đóท่านในปุ่นจีจออีโปเปอร์เซ็นต์ละย้อนหลักแคลิฟอร์เนียนะย้อนลิงแต่จ่อจบเปอร์เซ็นต์ปุ่นในปุ่นโซลูชิฮะเกนอกเกหอเกเชิงกาทุกด้านกูบอกตรงแต่เนาะhai tiệc mua bê tu nhiều chế 我用比不同的了，只要有么这么少多chế cho này phun cho tụ sâu才得sâu，chế nên là有一个波分，khi trồng tu kỳ cho trồng không sẽ được gì，bây giờ nhau cho lý giải những điều của tổ chức nó，应用就是，第一的呢，要呢，可能那把风。tụi kia giờ nè công ra nhớ lông đại tí bé đó giờ ta này phun tụi nè luôn bia ya ye bỏ hai cái kỹ năng kia hồ hai giờ rồi ta là phun chế nên cho thuốc đan rồi hai giờ rồi nhà rồi nếu như giờ tụi tôi cùng tên đó cho nhà chế bi họ xếp một chỗ khó kỳเราจำได้ว่าท่านในพลก็จัดสีจะกลัวตู้ผู้ชายแต่ก็สีก็จีนเอาเลยที่สิก็จะรู้ส่งยิ่งพันจ่อจะเสด็จคือวันนึงอีกนักพ่อผัวไปเสด็จก็ไปนักอ้าวหูอย่าให้เธอก็ต้องเกยงวันนี้เนี่ยเจ้าไงยิ่งข้อจิตตลุกกุมหัวยิ่งจะได้ป้องกันอย่าเลยก็อย่าเป็นเรื่องสี我开给我那，因为个叫卢成经我个手机，没有可见个那我找着洗着个把布叫个我那个，你老老母，你来当地我呢我自己做必须的，在他有时的古对我一来团的，弄了去就行了，过一下没得口都被，现在本个人变得好，一讲到了底下一个跟他背个背。นับรวมมานะก็ว่ายิ่งว่าโจเข้ากับเป็นยังมาต้องสารหลงไม่ใช่สารตัวไอ้ว่าโจเป็นจากที่เขาหลุดนะแต่ว่าจุดต่อแต่ไม่เต็มน้อยละท่านี่จะที่พูดโดยเป็นเสด็จที่เรื่องที่ชาวต่อละยศต่อว่ามูเป็นว่าจีนเนี่ยที่ยศต่อข้าดีว่าจนต่อ
紧到那说的是错都正经蛋糕，一三叫个蛋糕背上的时候，顶到的是吧？chỉ có chờ đi nên sao sáng giờ, tao chờ và lòng bắt hàng, và lao với thằng captain làm long, cái là gì đó. Rồi cho auto chairs cho lúc event này để đại captain và chúng ta thọ cho lieutenant và linh. lúc xưa đã bị thọ bị nè thay đểคนว่าbỏก็เชื่อเราที่เราเชื่อเจนเดอร์ลูกของเขาเนาะ被每一卡 complete ไม่做高วันเนี่ย在工程忙做高นู่น老师被我做ก็ตัวกง被做นู่นหน่อย他是他的คนว่าbỏ我แต่ดูว่าจืออย่าเช่าผมก็忙做高วันเนี่ยนะ被每一卡คงไม่ที่จริงๆเนี่ยก็รู้ไม่หมดแล้วก็เนี่ยจะสิพูดไปhôm đó là về rồi bé mua áo lót chào có đấy gì mà bé我这边其实大家摸点设计好广告，bé mua áo lót chào đó cho hoa cùng pin mấy mấy na cho con này.
gì nó mong nó thì thọ chơi than transaction có hà lu mua còn đâu mong được
choท่านคุณเราไปน้ำมันใส่ตัวหม้อนู่นอยู่ท่านคุณเกี่ยเลยเป็นคณะกรรมการที่เด็กคุณดูเก่งมาต้องเอาลูกเก๋ทั่วนะเชื่อเจอทำให้เราตัดเตี้ยง่ายตัวท่านคุณก็เราเอาลูกเก๋ทั่วนะก็คงคุ้มกันของเราพอยิ่งเราชกข้าไปไปในห้องวันขวดหรือผู้เชี่ยวชาญอยู่ไปชิมลงไปในจัดที่ให้ไอ้ช่วยน้องลิบ้าตาพวกติดตาเนาะไอ้ก็ช่วยน้องเนี่ยเชื่อรุ่นดูไอ้ก็ไปโฉมห้องไอ้ไปเจออีกจานหนึ่งไอ้ลูกเก๋ทั่วนะก็ไปช่วยเราไว้ยิ่งหัวทั่วก็เป็นเราการย้ายลงไม่เป็นด้านส่วนของย้ายตัวเจ้าขอแต่ได้ชุดไปกับต้องกับชุดโตไอ้จีอยู่เรื่องตัวเรื่องตัวสารก็ต้องห้องท่านไอ้คนรู้เสียทั่วนะเดี๋ยวเราไปเอาโอเคนี่นะเอาอีลูกอย่าคือชุดได้คุณที่เป็นชุดต่างหัวเดียวช่วยเจออยู่แต่ถ้าว่าเลยหัวมันท่านไอ้คนก็จีเอาตัวต่อหัวเฉยลูกเฉยทั่วก็ยิ่งหงอีลูกได้อย่างนี้นะเราไปช่วยเราหงก็จีก็ผมก็หงเราไปกับเป็นหัวอนุมัติเงินเป็นนักการย้ายลงตอนนี้เราอยากเอาเกี่ยวกับเชื่อเลยเดี๋ยวจะรู้ว่าเมื่อเด็กเดี๋ยวเราพอดีที่เชื่อจะเชื่อที่กงเชื่อไอ้เราลูกไว้อยากจะไปลูกกงหงเราเป็นตัวไอ้ที่ลูกเป็นตัวท่านเดิมเป็นวันต่อสู้เอาไปโตไปเจอเราหงเจอโอเคเลยเนี่ยตรงนี้ก็คือการรู้ว่าถ้าเราแต่ไม่ใช่บักข้อเขาจะก็น้องจะน้องเราจะก็จ้อเลย